Mike's alive. Hold on. 5 seconds. You're live.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the February 12, 2025 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being operated as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by dialing 1-408-650-3123 and then using access code 942-845-549, or you can join by a computer at global.gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. So materials for tonight's meeting have been posted to the town's website and provided to the commissioners, and the public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. My name is Michael Garland. I'm chairman of the commission. Before we begin, I need to ask if anyone in the audience is recording this meeting. Okay. I'm going to confirm that members and persons that speak on the agenda are present and can hear me. So when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Megan Langley.
Here.
Michelle Koros.
Here.
Chris Carey.
Here.
Via remote. And Mark Sclamo.
Here.
Tom Fallon.
Here.
All right. If anyone wishes to speak tonight, you need to fill a sign-in sheet that Tom has. Also, please note that this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. So without further ado, the first item on our agenda is 7 p.m. public hearing. Robert Lemansky requested a determination of applicability to remove trees at 253 Prospect Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. We had an opportunity to go to the property probably 3 weeks ago, and basically Mr. Lemansky filed because under our bylaw there's a channel that can't convey water. Aside from that, there was no other wetland activity. So would there be a motion to close the public hearing for Mr. Lemansky?
I make a motion we close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. And since we have some time, is there a motion regarding a determination of applicability?
I make a motion we issue a negative determination.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. Okay, and that took about 2 minutes.
Nice.
So, I know, well, we'll see what happens with the rest of the time.
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to have the other members sign this. This isn't one page. I know I had somebody sign an individual, but it makes it easier to have one page I can record at the registry of deeds. Interesting times. Not going on in Auburn.
Okay. Well, I guess I should ask, do any members of the board intend on attending the annual MACC meeting?
Yes, I do.
Okay, are you signed up?
No.
You should talk to Tom.
You will be. I just
Okay.
wanted to get a head count
Okay,
tonight.
and Mark, you
When
going?
is that again?
It's March 1st, Saturday, so it's
Holy Cross,
2 weeks from this Saturday, I believe.
2 weeks.
Yep.
3 weeks.
Three
When do I
weeks,
have to
3
tell
weeks.
you?
I need to know, I think, by like the end of next week, I
Okay.
think. Because I
I
can
promise
still...
I'll do, let me just look at my calendar.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Okay.
Because I can give a list of Darlene, get it approved, pay them, and
I'll make it
we can
happen.
go.
I'll make that happen.
Okay. It being about 7:05 p.m., the next matter on our agenda is 7:05 public hearing, Lyle White, a notice of intent for property at 205 West Street. Is there a motion to open?
I'll move to open.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote?
Aye.
Again, this is another property that we saw about 3 weeks ago. We met with Mr. White at the property. What we observed complies with what we saw on the plans that were submitted. I don't know that Mr. White is here tonight, but I think we told him he didn't have to be here. So is there any comment from the public?
I'm representing him.
Oh, well,
Art Allen's from Ecotech.
hello, Art. How are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
On the Wetland Scientist Project, I prepared and filed that notice.
Okay.
I'm aware you had a site visit, and Mr. White told me there weren't any issues raised at the site visit. As you know, we have a DEP file number, we have a stormwater permit from DPW, and the Board of Health has approved the septic. So I think his ducks are all in a row, basically.
All right. Are there any questions for Mr. Allen?
Could I get that, through the chair, could I get that DEP file number? Just so I can put it
Sure.
on the-
It's 098
Yep.
0877.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay. So if there's no comment from the board or from the public, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move to close.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed to vote. All right. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time. Good to see you.
You're just too damned efficient here. In any event,
Yeah.
we do need to do some site walks. I'm not going to be available this Saturday, but I suppose we could do them the following weekend. So I'm just kind of alerting people that there are some things we need to do, and hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll get them done.
Was Vinyl Street continued?
We have to, yes, it was, and we have to do the order of conditions tonight.
Okay.
So they sent it to, because our last meeting was postponed, they did agree to basically let us issue the order of conditions for tonight's, or at tonight's meeting, so we'll work on that later. I do have a question for you, Tom, though.
Sure.
Do you know what the status is of the Athens Street 40B project? Hasn't gone to,
It's
The
just
ZBA?
got put in 2 weeks ago, and it's gonna be a walk next Tuesday.
okay,
It's open to any member here that's available. It's from 11 to 1 o'clock. It's Zero Athens at the end of the cul-de-sac there. There'll be representatives from all the department heads in town. Also, the person from Mass Housing will be there.
okay,
And basically just to walk through the site, kind of like what took place at Perry Place last May, just to get some ideas. What they're trying to do this time around in this 40B is try to get as many questions going and concerns listed ahead of time, rather than waiting until their request for waivers towards the end of the process, to try to keep a little bit more of a grip on everything as it goes through.
sure, okay.
It's 11 to 1 on Tuesday,
Next
the
Tuesday.
18th.
The 18th, yep.
Is it just the department heads, or can
It's,
anybody go?
It's pretty much department heads, but like our commission members, yes, like ZBA, planning, they've all been invited, so you're all
Okay.
invited as well.
Okay. It being about 7:10 PM, the next matter on our agenda is 7:10 PM public hearing. I'm gonna,
Dealerson,
thank you.
Dillerson.
Dillerson Batista requests determination of applicability for property of 470 Rochdale Street. Is there a motion to open?
So move to open.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
It's not competition. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed to vote. All right. Is there someone here on behalf of Mr. Batista?
there are 2 people online that can't tell who they are.
Okay.
And Elijah.
I'm sorry, I might have cut out. This is for the 430 Rochdale Street.
yet.
That's
Oh, sorry.
excuse me, 470 Rochdale?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Is
That's
that the
it.
right address,
Yeah.
sir?
There's another
No, it's a different
430 at
one.
the bottom.
430 is an
Okay.
extension request.
All right, so, sir, we're not ready for the, for your hearing yet, or
Isn't
your
that it?
discussion?
Batista. Isn't that
470.
it? It says, that's the third one, 470 Rochdale Street.
Yeah,
That's right, but this gentleman is for 430.
Oh, I thought he said 470.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Is there anyone here on behalf of Mr. Batista for 470 Rochdale Street? Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we hold it in advance? Perhaps they will join us a bit later on. But Elijah, since you're here, tell us about the extension of the order of conditions for 430 Rochdale Street.
Hey, everyone. This is Elijah Mendelson from Sweb Development. I'm representing a solar development company.
Okay.
This project on 430 Rochdale Street has been with the town for quite some time.
Yes.
We got caught up in the National Grid CIP, which is the Capital Investment Program, which pushed our constructability out a couple of years. So we just actually received notice from the DPU, the Department of Energy, from the CIP, National Grid, and also the DOER that we can move forward with the project. And so, you know, as this timeline has been pushed out due to this interconnection issue, we would like to extend this permit moving forward.
Do you happen to know when the permit is set to expire, or has it already expired?
I believe it was in January.
Okay.
There was a slight server issue, and I think we missed the January agenda.
Well, the second hearing in January had to be canceled because of a posting issue. Do you happen to know offhand when you filed the request to extend it?
I think it was the 1st of January.
Yeah, it was early this morning.
Okay.
Through the chair, guys.
Yeah, please.
According to the extension permit I have here, the last order was extended on January 30, 2022, which means it would have expired in 2025.
Okay, all right.
And there is
Correct.
an automatic extension that was granted, so
Right. I'm just trying to determine if it was, you know, if your request for extension was timely filed. It appears that it has been. So, do you have any other comments for us?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, are you looking for 3 years?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. All right. We will act on your request later in this meeting, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yep, and let me know if you have any additional questions.
Will do. Thank you. Okay.
through the chair, I have a couple of things for 2 minutes.
Please,
We can wrap up.
absolutely.
All right. Update on 26 Water Street, the fine was issued, has been paid in full, check is cleared. Which, what was it, 3,000, I don't remember what the number was. Whatever it was, $3,150.
$50.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep, paid, cleared, all set.
Excellent.
I got the information in for the MAC conference, I just need to hear from Michelle if she's gonna attend, so it'll
Okay.
be, I don't know if Chris is gonna be able to make it. Chris, would you be able to make it to the MAC conference?
What's the date? What's the date there, Tom?
Saturday, March 3rd, 3 weeks from this Saturday.
Let's see. I believe I'll be able to make that one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's March 1st.
Yeah, March 1st. That's right.
Okay. Tom, I'm kind of, I mean, I haven't been in a couple of years. I think it's a really useful conference. So I will be able to let you know by next week if
Okay.
I want to be able to attend. All right.
And it was
And there's a really good lunch, too.
a great lunch. Catered.
A lot of people go there strictly for the lunch, but, it's just a really good, they have really good presentations, and I recommend
Well,
it.
that changes everything. Maybe I will make it.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's 7:15, so the next matter on our agenda is a 7:15 public hearing. Mass Electric, a request for determination of applicability for property at 531 Rochdale Street to install 4 new distribution poles. Is there a motion to open?
I move to open.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed to vote. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Kip Callahan. I'm here from VHB, representing the Massachusetts Electric Company.
Okay.
And so I'm here for a request for determination of applicability for a proposed installation of 4 new utility poles at the Century Sportsman's Club at 531 Rochdale Street.
Okay.
Do you guys already have copies of the plans?
Yeah.
I believe?
I do.
I think it's in the book.
Yep.
So, there are 4 new distribution poles being proposed to supply power to another part of the club. All 4 poles are located within buffer zone and within the 50-foot buffer under the bylaw.
Okay.
And 1 pole is located in an area mapped as bordering land subject to flooding. These are just regular utility poles, about 18 inches in diameter. So we're looking at about 7.2 square feet of total impact, and 1.8 square feet within that area mapped as bordering land subject to flooding. We think that impact is so small it should be considered de minimis. And there's a proposed erosion and sediment control program and with details in the packet that follow the standard procedures that Massachusetts Electric Company utilizes for these kind of installations
Okay.
to protect the wetland resources from impacts. And so we believe that the proposed measures protect the interests identified in the WPA, and we request that the commission grant a negative determination of applicability.
Okay. Can you describe the installation process?
Yeah, so the poles there's already an existing gravel road that goes out
Right.
to this area. And so they'll drive in a truck-mounted auger and they'll drill holes where the poles are going to go after they install erosion controls.
About how deep will those holes be?
About 6 feet.
Okay.
And then they'll just direct embed the poles, backfill around it, and then they'll be in place.
I mean, how long to install them? 1 or 2 days?
I think, yeah, it'll be pretty quick. I don't know exactly the timeline, but
All right. Do you know when they plan on doing this?
I'm not sure the timeline. I think it depends on, obviously, the permitting.
Okay.
But I think they're trying to get them in pretty quickly. I believe you can see on the figure, there's pole 7 up here in the parking lot. I believe they've already installed lines outside of the resource areas. So this is just kind of the last phase of the project. I think the idea is to just get that done once they can.
It's close to the water.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I'm curious about, around poles 9 and 10, it looks, 9 and 10 especially, it looks pretty heavily vegetated. Is that, it's hard to see if there's a service road going through there? Is that?
Yes, so if you take a picture or a peek in the appendix,
2 pages through the chair. 2
Yeah.
pages further, you'll see the actual location.
there's site photos for each
okay.
location. So
Gotcha.
it is a wooded area overall, but there's this existing gravel
Okay,
road.
I see.
And so each proposed pole is in the already disturbed edge of
Okay.
that
So
gravel
no
roadway.
additional, vegetation removal?
There's not any anticipated, but there may be a need for minor tree trimming to accommodate for the pole itself, but I can't speak to the exactly what they may need, but they don't anticipate any tree removal.
Okay. So that's Stoneville there?
No, that's Century Sportsman's.
It's Century Sportsman. I got you. Okay, all right.
And it's a little hard to tell from the plan, but there's actually quite a steep slope down to the water. So even though this one pole is in BLSF, it's about, I think, 12 feet above the current elevation.
Okay.
So, you know, they're quite far from the actual pond edge.
Okay, any other questions? Any questions from the audience? All right, there being none, is there a motion to close?
I move to close.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
I think-
Oh, aye.
Okay.
Didn't think you heard.
Opposed? Yeah, I can hear you now. All right, it's a vote. All right, thank you, Mr. Callahan. We will most likely render a decision this evening.
Okay, great.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, thank you. Okay, great, awesome.
Great, thank you, appreciate it.
Any other comments?
Nope.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Can I help you folks? You've been waiting patiently during our meeting.
Yeah, I just had some questions when the meeting's over, or
Okay.
during the meeting, or
Okay.
whenever you guys are finished with your agenda.
Is it about anything specifically about the items on our agenda for this
No.
evening? Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm just going to go back to the 7:10 hearing for Mr. Batista. I don't see that anyone is signed on.
See one caller, I'm not sure who that is, a caller one up there.
Caller 1, can you identify yourself? Oh, maybe we have a stalker.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. Since there's no one here to present the request, I would suggest that we contact Mr. Batista. Perhaps he didn't understand he needed to be here.
Through the chair, his business partner, Mr. Batista's a younger guy, his business partner is an older guy, I spoke with him today.
Okay.
He had some questions about his building permit, but also about this evening, and I told him as long as somebody's here, either remotely or in person, to show you have the information, and he told me somebody would be here, so.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? We will contact them. We can. We need to. I mean, I'm hesitant to continue this, just because I think the burden is on them to show up.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think what we do is just, we're not going to act on it, obviously. If anyone does contact you, tell them that, you know, they need to let us know what they want to do with this.
Right.
Okay. With respect, as you can see from other business, we've received a number of requests to extend orders of condition. I mean, I don't know if the plan is if they're just expecting us to act on these, or if they're gonna make a presentation to extend.
Through the chair,
Yes,
the first one, 320 South Street.
Yes.
The original applicant came through our board in 2018. It's off of South Street, right near the railroad tracks.
All right.
I believe myself, you, and Miss Holmes went on that site walk. We walked along the railroad tracks and cut in.
I remember.
It was an old like quarry.
Yes.
So the new owner is taking possession of it. He wants to basically do the same plan. But he's not planning on like starting any work yet, so he wanted to move ahead with the order to see if we could get an extension for that same project that was proposed.
Of course, the problem is, when did the original
Right, it was like
order expire?
2000, let me see. I don't know if I have it in here. I do not have it on here, but I did speak to Rebecca from DEP because I asked her for guidance on this, and after a couple of conversations, the last conversation was that because he hasn't started any work, he could still technically apply because of the state law that allowed for extensions.
Right.
If he had started work, he would have had to have it done within this cycle, which I think was like April 4th or something like that.
Okay.
I think that was the date. So what he's looking to do is file that extension and at some point, come up
mean-
with a, he has the plan for the house, plans on building the same
I
plan.
mean, are you satisfied with the narrative that he provided to you?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yep, and I checked everything, researched it as far as like what his plan is, and he hasn't done any work on the site.
All right, well, in that case, I mean, I'll put it to a vote. Is there a motion to grant the request for extension of the order of conditions for 320 South Street?
I move to grant the extension for 320 South Street.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, and what about 888 Southbridge Street? Anything?
888 Selfridge Street.
Yes.
Yes, so, that is an interesting one.
Okay.
So Ernie's Car Wash was actually given an original order of conditions, which we do not have a copy of on file anywhere. I've gone through all the records upstairs.
Okay.
So what they're looking to do is they're actually closing down Ernie's and they're gonna sell the property, so it will no longer be a car wash.
Are they really?
Yep. And there is a new proposed car wash from a different owner across the street where Ronnie's is, that's currently going through planning board.
Okay. Oh, I see. So actually, they're
So-
looking for a certificate
To
of
be able to
compliance.
sell, right, because they have it under agreement, and the attorney I spoke to, Mr. Toshio, explained to me that he was hired because they want to try to close out the certificate of compliance, so they provided, that's in your packet, I believe.
Yeah, it isn't.
The information that they had, they actually provided, I think, that the order of conditions in here. They faxed it to me, emailed it, yeah. Yeah, it's an old one. So this was originally issued, and the hearing closed in 1986.
Okay. Who was on the board back then? Matt Smith?
Elizabeth Prouty
Yeah.
was not, I'm sorry, she was the notary.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthew Smith.
Dr.
couple
Cassidy?
Names. Liz Prouty's husband was on it,
Right.
board at the time. And what's interesting enough is back in that time, as-built plans were not required.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
I mean, I think given the length of time that, and also given the fact that we actually have plans that were for the work that was done, is there a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 888 Southbridge Street?
I move to issue a certificate of compliance for 888 Southbridge Street.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. Okay.
The other one was
Is
was
that the-
430 Rochdale Street.
And we talked to the gentleman,
Yes.
and we granted that.
No, I don't think we have, but,
We didn't?
No,
okay.
We do,
so-
do we not talk? Okay, well, in
We
that
said
case,
we'd hold it, right, and then.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I move to issue a
Ex-
extend the order of conditions for 3 years for 430 Rochdale Street.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. All right. And so we received the annual report from Casella, and I think you can,
I saw that.
yeah.
Yep.
So, you can review that at your leisure.
We also received through the chair, National Grid, there's some pole work they want to do along Bryn Mawr Ave.
Right.
If you look on this map here, it looks like it's immediately after Leicester Street, as you get to Stoneville, you take that right on the Bryn Mawr. It looks like the first pole is on the right and the other four poles or 5 poles on the left. Well, I'm sorry, there's 5 on the right and there's 1 pole on the left of where it goes towards Miriam Street.
Okay. Okay.
It's basically them letting us know.
Yeah, because they don't have to file with us.
No.
Okay. Well, I think they've notified us as they're required to. All right. I think that only leaves the meeting minutes.
Actually, there's a couple more.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did receive a report that I emailed to you guys on Friday after I delivered the package from Mr. Quinn, 403 Commerce Way. It's just a monthly update. He's been going there once a week and keeping
Right.
us in the, so looks like substantial work around the building's pretty much done. The grass, this is going back through December, January but across the street, across the way there, nothing was established, so they're gonna keep an eye on that. And when the weather gets better, they're gonna stabilize that more, plant grass seed and such, and wait for that to get established.
All right, we'll keep our eye on it. Okay, we have meeting minutes for January 8th that we should review. I noticed a couple of typos, nothing big.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
If you go, if you look on, it would be page 4, so it would be the back of the second page. Jill, it's Mr. Haskins, so there should be an S added. It's the
Asking.
fourth paragraph. And really, aside from that, I have no changes to the meeting minutes.
I move that we accept the meeting minutes of January 8th.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, now we've got some orders of conditions to do. The one that we really need to do is, initially, is 25 Vinyl Street. So who wants to take a crack at it?
Can we maybe discuss some general things first?
Sure, of course.
So I mean, we have to address the waiver, is that a separate thing, or do we address that in
No,
the?
it's absolutely part of our,
Part of it, okay.
yes.
And then, okay, then just regular orders. Okay, and then,
You want to look at the plan? Because I have the plan.
I have it too, it's very large.
Hey, it is very large.
No, my one thing that I thought that they would be here tonight, but I had asked them, like, in general, I'm fine with the plan.
Through the chair, just the hearing's closed, so that's why.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so-
closed the
right,
hearing.
close the hearing.
Right, right, so they, yeah.
If the last meeting had not been postponed, we would have issued the order of conditions then.
Okay, right. No, I had asked them, because like they had changed the street trees from, like they had like a native street tree, then they had changed it to something not.
London.
London Plains
Oh,
tree or
London
something
Plain,
like-
yep.
Yeah. And then I had asked if they, could consider I guess I'm trying to figure out how to word it in there, because I would like, if they can't find them, like, native trees commercially, they said that, you know, commercial availability was some issue, which I can understand because there is sometimes an availability issue. But can
Okay.
you like say, can you, just like, I'm just trying to see, like, how can I pose that in the order of conditions? Like, as subject to availability,
Or maybe how about similar species, similar kind?
to, really, I'm just looking for something that's like a native tree. Which is like, that's keeping it like very open. That's leaving it to the landscape architect to be like, you literally have the entire flora of the United States to work with. It's
Okay.
like, you should be able to find
So
something.
I would just put that in there.
Yeah.
Just that they will use native trees,
Put in,
okay?
They
And
will
like you
use-
say, we
yeah.
can leave it to their discretion to put in or use a native tree,
yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Alright.
So is,
I don't think that's too much to ask.
yeah, I don't think so
put
either.
that-
So is someone ready to take a crack at this?
I say Megan.
It probably is my time.
You said that very quickly.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm not saying this, that I'm gonna be very efficient at this, but I'll
Well,
give
it's
it-
all right, we'll help you. We'll guide you
I'll
during
give
the
it a
process.
shot.
Here,
Okay,
do
let
you
me
want
get
the
out
new one?
my.
I have the new one.
I have them both. I think I need the old one also because I made notes on it.
Okay,
But, okay.
okay.
All right, so this is, I forgot the words I'm supposed to say. Standard
plus.
order for 25 Vinyl Street plus the following special conditions.
Okay,
One,
Mhm.
two,
yes.
3.
Mhm.
There's no replication.
There is none.
5.
Yep. I don't think there's any riprap. Is there? There's no riprap here.
No.
Okay,
8.
yep.
9.
Mhm.
11.
Okay,
13.
how about 12? Well, there's no wetland restoration, so never mind. I think 13's fair.
Okay, and then 14. I'm not, what do I need to say about regards to 14? 'Cause
Just-
that's the,
It's a child. You just say 14 because.
and then that, if that says that
That
the
it-
waiving.
Exactly, because
Okay.
it says basically what the characteristics are for 14 to be allowed.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't, this is like as far as, I had never even really looked at
Okay.
enforcing most of these, or
Well, that's fine.
doing most of the special conditions for.
How
So
about
15?
Yeah, I think 15 works.
Um,
You know, you don't have to go nuts.
Let me just give it a scan.
Okay.
Jeez, this is a lot. And feel free to suggest others that you think.
Okay. How about 20?
20. I just have a question about, like, number 18, for instance.
Okay.
We have this as a special condition, but in my opinion, I thought this was just a standard condition. Like, if you change what you're doing,
Mhm.
that you have to
I would put that
resubmit the
in.
notice of intent. So why is it a special condition when I thought it was a standard condition?
I think we had, we actually went over these probably 3 years ago,
Yeah, at least.
and we added a bunch of them, so, I mean, I agree with you that maybe should be self-evident, but I would include it anyway.
Okay, would 18,
I think 26 applies. And frankly, I think that's probably sufficient.
I don't know. No materials of any kind may be buried or placed or dispersed in areas within the jurisdiction. I mean, 21, you're gonna be doing a lot of building.
Okay, 21, good,
23 also deals with waste.
okay.
24, I mean, they're gonna have a lot of construction equipment.
Okay,
That's the fuel storage.
very good.
Okay, I think I'm good with that.
Okay, so let me see if I can repeat them. Standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 20, 21,
I
23.
think 18 was also one. That was the.
I'm sorry, 18, you're right. 20, 21, 23, and 24.
24 and 26, correct?
And 26, correct.
Additionally,
Yes?
I would like to ask that they include, that they use native tree species in their street plantings.
Okay.
Their street tree plantings.
Okay, and, okay, that's fine. So with that motion, is there a second?
I will second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's a vote. All right, very good. And then let's just go through the others. I'm going to do the request for determination for Mass Electric for 531 Limesville Street. Is there a motion? These are the distribution poles at the Century Sportsman's Club.
All right, well, this is, okay, this is for the determination of applicability.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. I move we make a negative determination.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. For Mr. White, now that is a notice of intent, so he's looking for an order of conditions.
Did we do Lemansky already?
We did.
Yes.
Oh, you're looking at me. Sorry, I'm
Oh.
trying to find my, my minutes that had the information on it.
I think you're on it. I think that she's on a roll, so I'm just gonna let her have it.
Okay,
You're very funny.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're giving her such a, that's true.
okay, sorry, give me the, which one are we talking about again, because I
Okay.
lost my minutes.
No, it's okay. This is the property at 205 West Street.
Okay, this is for the septic.
This is
They're
for,
just building the septic?
he's replacing
and
the
honestly, I
cesspool with
haven't
new
seen it.
subsurface sewage disposal system, new stormwater infiltration system discharge. He's also demolishing his a house and building a new house.
But he's yes, and he's asking for the RDA.
No, he's
No.
looking
He's,
for
this is a notice of intent,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah,
he's looking for an
That's
order
not
of
what I
conditions.
think.
So
Okay.
he needs this stuff,
Alright.
and I haven't seen it.
Okay, all right. Okay, yes, I did go there.
Okay.
All right, so, I'd like to order a standard order of conditions for what, West Street?
205 West Street.
205 West
Bless
Street,
you.
plus the following special conditions. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8,
9?
9, 11, is five, how is 5 different? Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at the first page, never mind.
Okay. There's no wetland restoration. There is no really stormwater management structures. You know, it's just a
I'd say
single-family home.
18.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm liking all of the 20s.
Except for maybe 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so 20, 21, 23. God, there's a lot of 20s.
And 24?
24,
Okay. And how about 26?
26,
426.
and
Is that good?
I'm good with that unless you all feel,
Okay. So,
I think standard kind of covers.
all right, so the motion is a standard order plus the following special conditions: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 18, 20, 21, 23, 24, and 26. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, it's a vote. All right.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
I have two other updates before we discuss Athens Street 40B.
Okay.
I did reach out, we discussed this last meeting, and Mr. Brock is at 480.
Yes.
So I sent his concerns to Auburn Highway Department, and they're gonna go out there in the springtime, Emma Williamson and Mr. Rhoda, the other town engineer, and they're gonna take a look and see if that pipe is indeed blocked again.
Okay.
If that's contributing to why the water's pooling there.
All right.
And the one other thing is 195 Rochdale, I spoke with Kathleen Haley today, and she made her very best effort, due diligence, to reach out to Mr. Delalis to see if he happened to have an as-built plan for that property, and he has not returned any calls or any emails or any of that thing. So she asked if there was anything that she could do to try to get further to get this as-built if it was available. And because it's not on the registry of deeds, obviously, we don't have it.
Wait a minute, so no order of conditions was ever recorded?
The order of conditions was, but nothing was ever recorded, no as-built was ever submitted to
Right,
the
and
board
it's
or
a
anything.
requirement.
Right.
Well, then I think they have to make a compelling case why they shouldn't have to do it. I mean, you know, the order is the order. And as far as I can tell, there's no good reason why it wasn't done. And I think, again, Mr. Dole should know better.
Because he's done quite a bit of development. He's still-
Exactly.
right.
So I think we cannot give him a pass, and I think they have to really show compelling reasons why they shouldn't have to comply with the condition. So I think leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. Are we good? Is that it?
That is it, other than just,
We talked a little bit about Athens Street and that the fact there's going to be a sidewalk on February 18th. Are they going to file with us?
they will be filing with us because it's my understanding that there is some stormwater stuff on that site. There's a stream that crosses through there in a culvert.
Okay.
I haven't been able to pull up any plans for that,
Okay.
actually, for that area, because it's still undeveloped land. But as you would know, it's right between Appleton and Prospect. I did speak to an abutter who found out on the Real Auburn site, and he came in with his concerns and basically said there's wildlife there, there's deer that inhabit there, there's water, that kind of thing.
And we have no idea when they might be filing with us?
Haven't we walked up there when we had to do Herb Chambers?
We did, yeah, for the parking, when they did the tier difference. And we didn't go all the way up where this is, but we
We went.
in that area, right, where they
Right.
developed the parking lot. So it's right behind that parking lot.
It's right there,
Yeah, and it's a big, it's almost 18 acres of land.
right.
And it's
So I'm
ledge.
assuming that they would have to file with us.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just trying to get an idea of the timeline.
yeah. So, as you all know, there was a meeting last week with the special ZBA meeting that was basically our 40B consultant. And there was other public meetings that were held, including the selectmen's meeting on Monday night. with some issues we discussed with 40B projects and going forward with the town, like consider doing a town meeting, that kind of thing. And one of the interesting things is that for the most part, when a 40B project gets that comprehensive permit, they're basically allowed to have a lot of leeway or with most, if not all, of a town's bylaws, including zoning, planning, which is kind of shocking. It kind of takes away a lot of control from the town boards, and that was discussed at Monday night selectmen's meeting, and in the interest of having a 40B consultant, the whole process is basically Mass Housing, and them is a quasi-agency of 4 different agencies that basically are the storehouse for the developers for these 40B projects to go to and get financing.
Okay.
So they're definitely pro-development as far as, you know, they have a lot more control than the town does, which is as insidious as that sounds as far as with the development process. So once all the concerns are given to the ZBA and they go through the waiver requests, like one of the waiver requests for the Perry Place project is they're seeking to do work within the 50-foot, what is it, 50-foot of
20,
border? Well, that's what's on their waiver request.
Okay.
The waiver request is listed that they want 50 feet, I think it is, within of the bordering vegetated wetlands. But in actuality, they're going to be doing work right with it on the line or a little bit inside of the 25 no-build zone, right where the road is. Now,
What happens is that, and the real, well, not the real issue, but in Auburn, there's less than 10% affordable housing. And so in order to address that issue, they've put in the 40B regulations and guidelines, which in effect allow the ZBA, in the interest of developing affordable housing, for them to obtain waivers from certain orders of condition, other requirements. And the reality is that it's better, I think, for the town boards to get in on the process at the very beginning, because I think you have more control at that point. You can negotiate with with the developer or the contractor to make sure that the goals, or the objectives of each board are more or less met. So
We're only at 10% right now?
less than
we're not,
10%.
we're like 5 point something.
Yeah, we're absolutely alone.
5.7.
Right, and those numbers are not counted until occupancy permits are issued and people can move in. So until they're completed.
So
this-
there are at least,
How did
3
they
or
do
4?
that? How did they come up with that number? Because 192 units.
They find a way,
It's a percentage of how many available units are in the town.
yeah. I mean, it's not, they don't pick a number out of thin air. There's documentation
I would
behind
think
it.
that schools, do they?
I understand
And
that.
through the chair, they've had multiple times where they've tried to introduce bills that account for mobile homes in our town and every other town that has them, and it's never been successfully passed.
Yeah.
Which,
And I don't know if there've been court challenges, but I would assume there have been, and I don't, my hunch is that state trumps localities, so there's that. In any
It
event,
always does.
moving on, is there any other business?
moving on, let's see, Lucas,
I think we covered everything.
that is everything.
So, these people have been waiting patiently
Patiently.
Yes,
for
thank you.
about an hour, so how can we help you?
No rush.
Okay.
My name is Chris Gervais. I'm over on 14 Rochelle Street.
Uh-huh,
I own the property that, the corner of Rochdale and Burnett.
okay.
You folks have been over several times throughout the years for various projects. One of them was Hill. The hill was all overgrown, and you guys came out and did a site visit. It's all seeded now, and there's...
I remember that.
Yeah, so, what I'm looking to do a couple things, and then a question too, and then 4 questions, so bear with me.
Okay.
If you remember that hill, it's all, it's exactly like it was after, I don't know if you saw it after it was finished, but it's all grass. And what I'm looking to do is, one of the things I'm looking to do is terrace that hill and put in boxes for vegetables.
Okay.
And I think I need to do a termination of applicable, what is it called?
It's called a request for determination of
That-
applicability.
So I need to do that for anything at all excavation-wise, which
Well-
would
No.
include this little bit of hill work?
If you're within 100 foot of a well-end area, you have to file with us.
Okay,
And
so,
then if you What you can do is that depending on what you're proposing for a scope of work, we may decide to issue a negative determination of applicability, which means you're free to do what you want as long as you put in, make sure that nothing gets into a wetland area. So really in order for us to evaluate what you want to do, we need to see some sort of plan.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So, the second thing I need to do is, on the edge of the property, there's two massive ancient oak trees.
Okay.
And I had an arborist come by a couple of years ago, and he said they really need to come down. One of them is hollow, and it had a fire inside it as well.
How's that happen?
Lightning struck
Oh,
an oak tree, blew the top off it, and Mass Electric came out and cut the rest of it because it was a danger to line.
okay,
The one next to it also caught on fire because it was already hollow.
all right,
That's burned and hollow, and I think there's a third one I'd like to take down
okay.
because whoever had the property before me, it was filled in higher than the trunk or something, and it's
It
killed
rotted the
me.
roots?
Yeah, it's the tree's not dying, but the arborist said, listen, it's not good what's going
And
on.
it's sort of the same thing, if it's within 100 feet of a wetland area,
Yep.
you have to file with us, but in all likelihood, I'm just saying, in all likelihood, we'd give you a negative determination, just make sure you use best practices to
So
take
are
it down.
those separate, or are they all on one? It's like,
You can put them in the same one.
okay, perfect. Third question.
Uh-huh,
That property on the corner, I'm toying around with the idea of putting a house there, and my entire property is within 100-foot buffer zone. My
Okay.
house including everything.
uh-huh.
So, and I don't even know if that's allowed, or if, you have to,
Well, I suppose that may be a zoning issue. You have to figure out if your lot's a buildable lot.
it is. So
Okay.
I have the square footage, I have the setbacks.
Uh-huh.
It's just all within 100-foot buffer zone.
Okay, then you absolutely going to have to file with us another request for determination at a minimum, and maybe depending on what the scope of work is, you may even want to file a notice of intent. That's why you really need to speak to a professional.
Yeah, so that's, basically I'm here because I don't want to spend all the money to do that if
Sure you
it's not even
don't.
allowed. Yeah, I didn't even know if it was
Uh-huh.
allowed, basically.
I think the answer is that if it's a buildable lot, you file with us and we'll tell you whether it's allowed or not. In all likelihood, it will be.
Oh, okay, all right,
Okay.
that's fine. It's, I've been there 30 years, so it's like every time I do something, it's like, I don't know,
Sure.
I forget the rules,
No worries.
And
26, he lied to you.
20
Well, I'm sorry, so we're going to have to deny it
Absolutely. Give me
then.
your phone number, and I'll send you some information tomorrow for
Great.
like an out-of-date form and other things. There's also some interesting things with accessory dwelling units that are now in place for every city and town in the state, where you're actually allowed to put an apartment in your home, attached to your home, detached from your home.
Yeah, I can't do that because I'm not looking to do that anyway, and I wouldn't have the setbacks on the side, and I can't do it off the back, but.
And it's probably for an adult child. We don't want them in our home.
So,
I understand.
thank you for all that. The last thing I have is, I'm hearing a vicious rumor through the town that the water department's talking about putting a culvert in instead of the dam, draining Stonewall Pond.
I haven't heard anything
I haven't
to that
heard
effect. I don't know-
anything.
I don't know who your source is, but
I heard that there's already plans out there, someone's claimed to see them. I don't know, I can't find anything on it, no news, nothing. I don't know if you folks heard anything about
it
it.
sounds like a vicious rumor to me.
I work in the town,
That's
and
good.
I have people that monitor the Facebook websites and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've heard of it.
And I
so
live on
it's-
the lake too.
And she
Yeah.
lives on the lake, so.
On Stonewall Pond?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're over off of Lorna?
I'm up Collier Way.
Collier Way, yeah.
So I think,
Oh, no, I'm on Lower Stonewall Pond.
I don't know where you heard that, but we have no knowledge of it.
Okay, I also heard that that dam is actually condemned. Do you folks know if that's true? 'Cause I know it's in tough shape, but I don't
I
know.
don't know who you're hearing all that from.
No, and, I mean, I think, but the dam would be within the jurisdiction of DEP, right?
Well, the water department owns the pond, so they're responsible for the dam as far as I
Army Corps of
know.
Engineers, maybe?
Maybe. I think
Ah.
if you have any questions about that, you should contact the
Yeah.
water
Water
department directly.
department.
Yeah, and obviously, if something like that were to come to fruition, it would have to come before the board, right? You folks, right?
We would get some sort of notice, absolutely.
Yeah, I would hope.
Okay, but don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah.
Or you hear.
Yeah, no, I didn't even read it anywhere. Someone in town was telling me that they know this.
Well, I'd like to know how they know it and
Yeah.
what's the basis of their knowledge.
I'll get some more info and
Call my buddy.
Okay.
maybe I'll come back in the next meeting if I get some more dirt.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let us know.
That was like,
Let us know.
that's not,
All right.
that would be crazy.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay, great. So if I were to put a house there, in its determination of applicability, do you need stamped drawings or just like a rough idea or?
Sir, we can't really advise you on how to do it.
Well, okay.
You know, that's why if,
Like what does the board, like you must look for certain things on something like this.
we want
right?
to see what impact any proposed construction has on wetland area.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, so things we've been looking for would be the footprint of the house, proximity to wetlands, whether or not you're going to be digging a well or putting in a septic,
Right.
and that may not be an issue. You know, in most cases, when someone comes before us proposing the construction of a home, it's an engineered drawing. It's not just a
Right.
sketch, you know, so.
Yep. Okay, all right,
Okay.
I will definitely think about that. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just asking because I didn't even know if it was even questioning whether I could do it, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
okay, great. So for the trees, do you need photographs? Like there's no satellite where you can see the trees because there's all
So
foliage on
we-
the satellite?
We usually go to properties to look
Oh, yeah, that's
at
right,
what's
yeah.
going on, so we would take a quick look. If you want to take pictures and submit those with your request for determination, that's fine, of course, but in all likelihood, we'll go out and take a look ourselves.
And just a little sketch of the time for the boxes, the vegetable boxes I want to do.
Right.
I'm just tired of mowing it.
Now, just make sure that when you do that, give us an accurate distance between the construction and the wetland.
Oh, for the boxes?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
okay,
Okay.
Perfect.
all right,
Great.
All right.
I'll get some information to you tomorrow, definitely.
Awesome, thank you.
all right, you're welcome, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Through the chair,
yes, sir.
our 710 applicant, Dealerson Batista, is here.
Oh, you are
I
here.
apologize, how long were you here for Dealerson? Because I did not see you with the...
I think you just came in.
Did you get here a little late, or?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
catching traffic, so.
Okay, that's all
Oh,
right.
that's
Well,
okay. Come on up.
Come on up.
Okay. So, Mr. Bautista, tell us what you want to do here.
So, we have a cesspool that we want to backfill, and then we would like to do septic system. Everything that we was required to present is already here, right?
So in your packet, yep,
Yeah.
you have the RDA form. It has some things attached. It has a plan.
I think I gave everything.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Right.
and they have it. I gave them
Okay.
copies.
So, what the plan doesn't show, though, sir, is where the septic system is going to be installed. At least I don't see it.
No. Well, what he's actually here for right now,
Just for the backfill of the
yeah,
cesspool,
through the chair.
Okay.
So what they're looking to do is,
which is roughly 14.
he has a failed Title V septic system.
Right.
And it has that cistern, 14 and a half feet, and they need to decommission it by filling it with sand, and so that work is definitely, it's close to the pond. They purchased this home with the intent of renovating it and putting in a new system that is going to be closer to the house, but they don't have a final plan yet. So what he's looking to do is to do an RDA for this particular work to decommission that. Because he doesn't have a plan, obviously, the board would not be able to give approval for a septic system, because right
Well,
now the
right.
town doesn't have a plan.
Oh, the plan is already with Darlene.
All right, but really, the only thing you're here for tonight is filling in the cesspool, right?
Right. In other words, you have to, for you to come in here for your septic, you have to have a plan that you can show this whole board, which we don't have. The town does, I don't have a
Darlene already
plan.
have it.
But we don't have it. I'm saying the
Okay.
town doesn't
Okay.
have it.
We-
The building commissioner and the board of health doesn't have it. So-
Basically, what you would need to do is you would need to show us on, and then I think this is fine, where the septic is going to be, all right?
Okay, if the septic is this far out,
Okay.
you know, closer to the house and not over here.
Yeah, which will-
They do not, through the chair, they do not have a well right now. Now, the well that's there The water is the same as the water in the pond. It's a field well.
Okay,
So they don't have a new well in place yet.
all right.
So that's one of the reasons why,
And town water is not an option?
no.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Batista, what we can do is we can act on your request to fill in the cesspool because we definitely have jurisdiction since it's so close to the pond. But yeah, you're gonna have to, once you figure out where you're gonna site your septic system
Okay,
and also your well, you're gonna need to come back to see us,
okay.
okay? So tell us how you're gonna fill in the cesspool. Can you describe it to me? How big is it? Do you know?
We don't have the depth of it because
Okay.
it's full. We didn't check, but the plan was just get to it and backfill with sand
Okay.
and put some.
Now, do you need the Board of Health to approve that?
Yes, that's through the Board of Health.
So, but have you applied to the Board of Health?
No, I didn't know that we had to do it.
Okay, then I think what we should do, Mr. Batista, is this. Why don't we just continue the hearing on this?
Okay.
And then if you say, and then if you determine where you're gonna place your septic, once you get the approval from the Board of Health to fill in the cesspool, and once you site your septic system and also figure out where you're gonna put your well, you can come back to see us. Would that be agreeable to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we're just not going to take any action on this right now. You know, the more information we have, the easier it is for us to make a decision for you, or for your benefit.
Yep.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
All right,
All
sir.
right, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So just real quick.
All right,
I did talk to-
so we move to continue the meeting?
Yeah.
So I spoke with Gary, that's why Gary said, well, because we don't have a well plan and everything else, going to the meeting tonight's good because we can at least show the board what you're planning here.
Right.
But like I said, if your plan is actually gonna have it over here further away, right, right, that's the only thing, that and the well. So Gary suggested it, present what you have now, and once you have all that other stuff in place, you can come back and they'll be able to make a all-in-one step. Obviously, right now, you're not gonna be able to do any work there because everything's frozen and covered in snow anyways, but,
So, should we move to put him on in 2 weeks, with the agenda for 2 weeks?
I don't think he's going to be ready.
no, I don't, if, talking to your partner Armando, if you're gonna have like stuff, like the well plan and all that kind of stuff, 'cause if you are, we can reschedule, have you come back. But you have the contact information, so why don't I speak to you or Armando later this week, and we can figure out a timeline.
Okay, I think it will work out just because we already have the plan of everything.
Right, right.
Just not attached to this.
Sure,
So it's
sure.
just a matter of attach it,
Uh-huh.
and I think we'll be all set.
Yeah.
So we're going to be meeting again on February 26th.
Okay.
That's in 2 weeks. Do you think you'll be ready in 2 weeks? Because if not, we can continue it to March.
I rather get in touch with the engineer first.
you'd rather
and,
wait?
Then I can get back to you guys.
Then why don't we do this? Why don't we
tomorrow.
just continue the hearing generally?
Okay,
And then when you're ready to proceed, you can let Tom know.
sounds good.
And we'll put it on the agenda.
Sounds good.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Susan. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
No, no
No
worries.
worries.
It's okay.
No worries.
I'm glad you came, at least we were able to get information for everybody.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So to your point, is there a motion to continue the hearing for Mr. Batista generally?
I move to continue the meeting generally.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 I always say opposed, but there's no opposition. It's opposed.
Sometimes I try and oppose.
Sometimes.
There's-
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to introduce, this is Ricky. He's
Hi.
him and his wife are new to the town of Auburn.
Oh, congratulations.
Lived in Auburn her whole life.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
all right.
I'm from Somerville originally, we moved back.
Yeah,
to
what,
Coburg.
you might come on
Come
up,
on up.
please, please. I'll let Ricky introduce himself, but he's got some interesting experience and qualification and skills in construction and other things. and,
Okay.
I think
Great.
So,
go.
yeah, my wife, Ann Oakman, she actually grew up in Auburn. Mother also grew up in Auburn. I'm actually from Somerville. We met probably 10 years ago, married for 10 years now. I moved here due to COVID. We live with our in-laws and just wanted to be part of the team.
Sure.
So,
Oh, sweet.
So are you interested in joining the commission?
I definitely don't know half the stuff you guys said.
Well, you know, it's not.
I didn't.
But I slowly caught on towards the end of the meeting and whatnot.
It's you know, they're actually, so you can pick it up and it's, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of technical jargon, but you'll be able to pick it up, you know. I mean, if you're interested, we'd love to have you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So has he filled in an application?
I
have
don't
not.
believe so, but I will get one from
Okay.
Darlene or whoever from, no, probably Ginger. Ginger will
Okay.
probably have it.
And I think, I know, generally speaking, I don't know if Dory will do an interview, but I'd be happy to do maybe a further interview too.
Okay.
So if you're interested, Ricky, I think we'd be very happy to have you.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
We meet twice a month.
Yep.
We do site walks on weekends.
Okay.
I mean, it's not heavy lifting, not really. Tom provides packets, review the packets. The meetings tend to run an hour to an hour and a half, but usually about an hour. And you know, I've been doing it for almost 30 years, so I'm a glutton for punishment. But I've enjoyed it. I've gotten a lot out of it, and I think it's I think provide an important service to the town. You know, we're volunteers, but you know, I think it's important to kind of, you know, give back, and so I've liked it. And if you're interested, we'd, like I said, we'd like to have you. So,
Yeah.
okay,
All right. Well,
all right, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you.
Mr. Ricky, I'll send you some tomorrow. I'll send you the application for you.
Okay.
I'll include Dory, who's our interim town manager, and see what we can do about scheduling an interview.
Okay.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, I
Take care.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
That was very quick.
I
That
know.
was very cool.
Is there a second?
Take second.
Is there any discussion? Of course not. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, it's a vote.
Have a good night, guys.